Welcome back, it's Caleb with Allied Siding and Roofing. Today we're going to go over a house that we did a lot of work on. We're doing a deck, we're doing a gazebo. We're actually going to do a roof extension off the back of the house. We're still waiting on the permit for that. And then we changed the windows, and we did a lot of stuff here. So I'd like to show you some of the cool things we did and just really the overview of the job. So one thing I'd like to note is that the fascia that we did out here, we used a tool to create a ribbing. And black aluminum is notorious for expanding, contracting the most because it's the darkest color. And so when the sun hits it, it grows, and then you can see all the bubbles in the material. So that extra bend in the fascia is gonna help prevent all the bubbles that come along with it. In this house, we did 7-inch exposure, iron gray lap siding in some spots. So like in the front of the garage, right here, you can see we did 7-inch exposure. And then around the windows and the frieze and soffit and fascia, we used midnight black. So on the front, in a lot of different places, there's different accents. So in the front and different areas, we use Arctic white board and batten. It's all James Hardy, rough sawn or cedar mill or rustic line of Hardy. Then of course we use custom bent aluminum to flash everything and make everything kind of look really nice. So one thing that we do on our roof lines is we bend custom aluminum to try and give relief off the roof line, because James Hardy requires 2 inches in a minimum off the asphalt shingle. So we use a decorative piece of aluminum to try and give ourselves a little bit of room off the roof and kind of give it a really nice, cool finish. One thing I wanted to go over with you, which I think is a really cool, unique add-on on a house, is doing a front porch. If you're doing a front porch or a front porch addition, you can add cedar soffits, and it just kind of makes the soffit areas a really cool accent, and it finishes out the house really nicely and just gives it a pop. So I'll show you what that looks like, and I'm gonna show you kind of what the guys did, which I think is really smart the way they ran it, and just a really good finish. Okay, one thing you might notice, and if you can see, there's some dings and stuff like that on the material. We're still in the middle of touching it up and kind of cleaning everything up and making it look nice. But the ceiling is a cedar ceiling, so really cool. And then the one thing that I thought was really cool is the way they finished out in the corner, and I'll show you over here. So the soffit turned directions, and we could have run all the boards this way in this area and then run the other ones perpendicular going the other way, but it's kind of a weird break where you'd have that. So what we did is we ran a board on a 45-degree angle from corner to corner, and we ran opposite directions going different ways. So it kind of just gives it a nice sleek finish out in the corner instead of being such a hard break. Okay, so one thing that people don't really know what to do with when they run into, say, like an arch window or radius window, it's hard to flash those and make it look good. So what we do a lot of times, we use a bigger profile Hardy trim, which is why it doesn't match the color right now, because it's Dreamline color, and it takes 8 to 12 weeks to get. So this house is starting now, so what we're going to do is in the spring we're going to come back and touch them and paint some of these areas. But the way we finish off the top of the radius to flash it is we use a Flex J, which is a Flex J. It's standard white, but it bends around the window nicely to give it a nice finish, and then you tuck your material into it so you can't see the cut ends. The only other way to do it is, James Hardy material is not great for cutting around radiuses. It's kind of a rigid board. So the best way to do it is just kind of tuck it into a J channel, and it hides the ugly cut, or it hides the cut on the material, and that just gives a nice finish. It helps flash the top of the window. So here at the back of the house, we're redoing the deck. We're actually going to be refinishing out the gazebo. It's a really cool old school gazebo, and we're going to update it and make it look really nice. We're not there yet, but we just did the decking on the floor, and then we're going to be re-trimming out the post, reinstalling new railing, doing the overhangs, the fascia, the soffit, and we're even going to run a skirt board around the perimeter to kind of hide the ugly area underneath, and it's going to really finish out nicely over here. I think it's a really cool idea that the homeowner came up with, just to kind of close off all the under spaces. And one thing that we'll also do, because the deck is not that high off the ground, we're going to run mesh wire to protect from animals and critters getting underneath there. And you really won't be able to see the mesh wire, and it'll be a really nice clean finish without getting critters under your deck if it's close to the ground. And then of course we're doing benches and railing, and it's in the middle of the process, but you'll see it in the finish here soon enough. We'll get pictures and videos of it. This house is just gonna be a crazy update. It's a really cool transformation from start to finish. One thing I'm really excited about is the roof extension off the back. It's gonna be a really cool addition. I know he's gonna do pavers and all that underneath it, and it's just gonna finish out really nice. Right now the material's a little dusty and dirty because we're working, but right now this is a TimberTech Tiger Wood product. It's a composite board, and that's what we got here. Thanks for joining us. If you like it, click the subscribe and follow along as we continue to renovate and transform houses one at a time.